Can you hear it loud and clear? Oh no.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to GM32, the Hockey Podcast. I'm Vito Scaringi.
I'm Carson Johnstone.
And we're here with, you guessed it, you wanted him, you got him. Coach gave him the tap to hop over the boards and be the third man in tonight. John, the Slim Reaper. How you doing, baby?
Amazing, boys. I'm happy to be on with you again. I had so much fun with you guys these past few days, just interviewing some amazing hockey people, and we got a great another episode today.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead here and just I'm gonna let everybody know that Johnny's gonna be a regular guest here. You know, whenever we don't have a third man in, we're gonna have Johnny Boy on the podcast with us. So we're excited about that, and we're happy to have you, Slim.
Interim co-host.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? To start off, we got a great one today, eh, Cars?
Yeah, real excited. We got Nicky on. We had his brother on yesterday. Real excited to have him. I played with him, and just a great guy, great hockey man, really. And he's turned Fort Erie into a really great organization. I'm excited to talk to him about it.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and it's gonna be a good one today. So guys, stay listening here, and hope you guys enjoy it. What's going on? How are we tonight?
Pretty good. We got Nicky on tonight. We're excited. We got Anthony yesterday.
We got Nicky today. Big Nik Passero. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I got the second call, obviously.
Message you first. Didn't answer.
A little more busy than Anthony, obviously, but no, I appreciate the call.
I want to get some out in the open right off the bat here. Little birdie told me that you had a little skirmish with one of the guys sitting in this room. And the birdie also told me that I don't know who got the best of it, but he said that you might not have. So I want to clear the air here.
Are we getting this off right
clear the
now?
air.
We're going right off the bat here.
It's in the picture.
It was a playoff fight. I only had a couple of those, but I would say it was one of my better ones.
That was solid. It was not a bad one.
There's a video.
Good one.
We're posting the video. If we're thinking about it, boys, fellow listeners, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Me and our guest here decided to throw down on it was my 18-year-old here. I think
game four,
a couple slashes were thrown. I think I went down and just whacked your goalie for zero reason. Square off was a good one, and the fight ensued, and it was a battle. That was a beauty.
I think it was 3 games in the making there. And,
it was a solid series.
Yeah.
We always battled though. We had us, not even me and you, definitely we had our fair share, but like all in all, if Niagara Falls, the Canucks and Fort Erie Mets, we definitely we had our fair share throughout our years for sure.
For sure, no, it was good. It was one of my better ones, I would have to say.
Let's get your side of it, Nick. We all know my side. I decided to shoot that around a lot. Let's get your side here. What happened? What ensued that night?
Well, we were losing again, and it was game 4 at home, and I think you took the goalie out, and you turned right around, and I was at center ice still, I think, and we dropped them, and it was a long one, I think.
Yeah, I was tired.
And from what I remember, you went down like a ton of bricks and got up like the Undertaker.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give it to you. You caught me on a button pretty good there, but for some odd reason, it just like right up right away. Yeah,
and that was it. All I remember is getting off the ice and
big Sally. You threw down. You threw a big one. You know what? I think we had the picture of that too. I think you did. Yeah,
season was over before I could even get my equipment off. So that was it. Shook hands at center, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, that's beauty. You know what? We did have some good battles, and you know what? Let's kind of dive right into it. You played for Fort Erie for 5 years.
Yeah, five and a half, I think.
Yeah, you got a couple 15-year-old games in there too.
Yeah, 15-year-old games. Played 5 years with the Mets, and then got traded my 20-year-old year to London, and tried to go for it there. But I owe a lot to the league and this area of hockey for sure. And I played my first Junior B exhibition game when I was 13. So
wow. That's incredible. Yeah,
been around it for a long time, and now I'm back. So who would have thought?
Yeah, man. And you say you're back too, and that's awesome. We talked to Anthony about it yesterday, and your experience too, right? You played some college and were able to coach a little bit over there, so we'll get into some of that as well. But growing up in Fort Erie, let's talk about that. We talked to everybody about their experience, growing up playing hockey. I played against you a little bit in Niagara Falls, but I know I also played against you a little bit in Fort Erie, right, in single A and stuff.
Right.
So, if you could just tell us a little bit about that and getting to, junior B where you played your 5 years.
Yeah, I played single A here in Fort Erie for the Wildcats and the Meteors till I was 12, and then went out to the Falls and played AAA there for 3 or 4 years. And some of my best friends from those teams, we were good, and it was fun. And then got drafted by Guelph, and then came home to Fort Erie, and like I said, played half a decade there, and then went off to school. But playing at home in Fort Erie was fun in minor hockey, and then obviously got a little more serious heading to Niagara Falls and playing with some great talents, guys like Jared Maidens and Eric Diodati, Matt McLeod, guys that made careers in hockey, and and some of the best years, and some great coaches as well. So it was good to happen. And then getting drafted was obviously a highlight of my career, and something that I'll take with me forever. And then obviously playing in Fort Erie, being at home, and being such a big part of it, and 5 years, and laying down playoff losses like Niagara Falls and Thorold and stuff, and building up to something that obviously we didn't get to finish what we wanted to, but it's still great memories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of good times. I mean, the one thing about playing in Fort Erie, me and Vito actually had talked about it earlier, candidly, but we were talking about just the tight-knit room, and how that community is, and how everybody loves it. Everyone who plays in Fort Erie loves it. Well, people I've talked to anyway. Most people who hate it probably wouldn't go around spouting off about it. But I mean, I haven't met too many or anybody, but I loved it there. Vito, you talked about your experience here as a 20-year-old.
Yeah, what I had, as you guys would know, I had a pretty pretty good rap sheet, I guess you would say. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So after getting let go by Thorold, the Passeros, the Fort Erie Meteors just welcomed me with open arms. The only team to do that. I didn't think I had anywhere to go. I thought I was done. I've still got half a year of 20 left, and I'm still kind of rolling. But they took me in with open arms, and that was, like I said, I was talking to you earlier, Carson, about it. I've played for the same team for quite some time with the Niagara Falls Canucks, and then played on some random summer teams. I didn't know anybody, wasn't scared to go into the room, whatever. Going to Fort Erie, I was nervous. It was one of the first times in my life changing teams. I was nervous, and it wasn't 2-3 minutes into being there that I was so welcomed, and just had such a blast my last half year, and just the way you're welcomed, and to be a part of, to wear that crest is unbelievable, and everyone loves it, and it's so respected. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a direct association to you guys and your family, right? Like you said, you've been around it for so long, and you can talk about your dad too, right? And what he did for Fort Erie and the organization.
Yeah, for the whole league.
I mean, it starts. Well, Vito, you played probably 3 months there. Cars a year and a half. Almost 2 years. But you'll be Meteors forever, and I think that's something that a lot of people can say. If me and Anthony like to have beers and play cards with guys, and if we're sitting at a table, 75% of the guys at the table played for the Meteors. And the guys that didn't went to the games. And it's just kind of how Fort Erie is, and obviously now with the way things are turning, a lot of imports and stuff, and that happens, but there's a lot of kids also that come down here and never want to leave. There's kids, right? Yeah, exactly. Like a guy like Bear, he moves down here, and he would say Fort Erie is his second home. He's best friends here and stuff like that. So it is that kind of thing, and it's something once you're a Meteor, you'll always be a Meteor. And we've been talking lately about an alumni game, and it's kind of overwhelming thinking how many guys should be there. And it's like, holy, if we might have a week-long tournament. And
everyone would want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about, in my opinion, getting a chance. There's guys that are 16, 17-year-old that are getting their first chances of playing Junior B that might not have deserved it or might not have been ready for it, but got the chance. And then there's the other guys, like the 20-year-olds who, like Vito said, are on their way out, that making their last stop. And those guys exist too. Like, think a guy like Andrew Sturts, he gets traded 2 times in the league and finds a home in Fort Erie. And, I think if you'd asked him, it was life changing, and he's one of my best friends, and if he didn't make his quick 4-month stop in Fort Erie, his life's different, and so is mine for having him in my life. So I think there's a lot of guys in this area in the league that can say that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No doubt. Now, I guess we could transition to college a little bit, right? We've talked about the junior thing. Now, was that difficult for you going from a situation where you're so comfortable at home, and actually no, let's not go to college yet. Let's go to London. You got traded to London your 20-year-old year.
Yeah, it's
how was that? Just leaving that year, as a 20 bomb, after playing so long in Fort Erie, chasing, the Southie, obviously that's what you wanted, right?
Right, yeah, for sure. I think that was a crazy couple days. I wanted to go to Niagara Falls, but in my dad's opinion, they couldn't win. Caledonia and St. Catharines were good that year.
You know what's funny? I never knew you wanted to go to the Falls. My dad asked me, "Do you and Bear want to go to the Falls?" And me and Bear were in the room together.
Right.
We said no. And the next day, we heard you were going to London.
Yeah.
So
it was kind of like.
I wonder if it was like if they would have taken all three of us because they would have done something like that.
Right. It was like I said, I wanted to go to play for Terry. I thought that would be fun, and but my dad just didn't think they could win, and St. Catharines kind of give me well, you come here and be on the fourth line, and I just didn't think that was how I wanted to go out either, and so it was down to London and Chatham, and London made a pitch. I say pitch, but just a good phone call with their coach, who, rest in peace, Kelly Thompson, who's a great man and someone who I think I'm a lot alike. So he called me and just said, "Listen, we're just a bunch of men here that want to go win a championship." And I said, "I'll be there soon." And it was great. They treated me great. It didn't end the way we wanted it to, or me personally. Like, healthy scratch in my last junior game, kind of a crazy way after playing 250 games in the league. But
Wow.
But it's not how I wanted it to go. But I won my first playoff series. I got to play in a game 7 in front of 3,500 people in Sarnia, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
And in front of my parents, which was cool. So I can't even say that I regret it. There's lots of me that wishes I would have finished it at home, because I didn't win. So what's the difference if I lose there or lose at home? But that's not something I beat myself up over, for sure.
No, you can't. I mean, if you never take that step out, you never know. Like, I mean, it's no secret, like, traditionally in in years past, you didn't go to Fort Erie specifically to win. A lot of guys went to develop, went for opportunity, went to have fun and enjoy what Fort Erie is, right? And we won. We had fun, but, in playoffs was tough. St. Catharines, Niagara Falls, Caledonia, you draw those top teams, and those guys are powerhouses by that time of year. It's very difficult to compete at that time of year, but it doesn't take anything away from the Fort Erie organization.
No, not at all. And I'll back you up on that. Like I said, I played for that Niagara Falls team for 4 years, and going into those games, like we played your Buffaloes. Okay,
Yeah.
You're walking in there, you're walking out with 4 or 5 points.
Yeah.
Okay, but like going into Fort Erie, it's just like. It's nerve-wracking, especially in those later games. You guys beat us a couple times that year, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Like going into those games, like it's like you call us powerhouses, yeah, but like you like going into there, it's something about the Metro Dome like that.
Oh,
it's,
for sure.
It's something else up there.
And I think it's just playing for each other, not playing. You're playing for the greater good.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we bring into Fort Erie. To this day is, what is our purpose? We want team unity. So, our spirit, our greater purpose. Like, what is our greater purpose? Why are we here?
Mm-hmm.
Like they say in the NHL, like, some guys just play for money. Well, that's fine, but you better play your best for the money.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're motivated to win a Stanley Cup and I'm motivated to make $10 million, doesn't mean we're not both motivated. As long as my motivation and your motivation align to do the best, then everyone's got to find their greater purpose. And
it's like learning to work with people from different walks of life, right? It's the same kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Just like different things motivate different people, right? And that's a perfect way to put it, because I know in our team too, and when we played in Fort Erie, like there was a lot of different personalities, right?
Oh, for sure.
And it's always that way on any hockey team, right? And you got to find a way to work together. So
absolutely.
That's well said. Johnny, anything?
Yeah, I actually had. I'll just jump in here quick. I actually had a really similar experience. It's crazy. I felt like you were just telling my story of my 20-year-old year too. I played at home. My hometown's Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Played for the hometown Junior A Blues. Had a bunch of good buddies. Met some great buddies there, and it came to the deadline, and the coach asked me if I wanted to get dealt. He said I wasn't really gonna have a spot there for the rest of the year, and I said I was a little reluctant. Obviously had some amazing buddies. I was living with my parents at the time, right, but took the step up to OCN, and had an absolute blast. I mean, it was just I didn't know what to expect, obviously, and but maybe you could speak a little more on that, just how you were feeling, kind of exactly coming in that room, and what kind of team they had. And
it
stuff.
was nerve-wracking. We had like 17, 20-year-olds, and they had won the Southern Cup the year before.
Yeah, they did win it.
So like,
Mac went over.
Right, yeah. So like going there, I remember like playing. The Meteors played Saturday night, and I went, and then Sunday morning, my parents drove me up to London, and I caught the bus. We had an afternoon game in Chatham, and first shift I scored, but I kicked it in, and I was so like relieved, at least like, and it got disallowed, but like on the bench I was like, okay, at least
You're involved.
At least they're like, oh, he scored, but it got disallowed. Like that was such a feeling, and right away it was like you get into a room, and in Fort Erie, like I considered myself like, almost a babysitter, right?
Yeah,
like I was like making sure that, this guy had this guy. There I just walked in and everyone was doing their job or knew that they were supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It was crazy, right? Like everyone had a purpose, and everyone had been there before, like winning. They were in a little bit of a slump, and they picked me up and Mike Whaley, who played at Western, right, and played in the OHL, and then went to Western, came back, and we were both like deadline acquisitions, and it was just go to the rink, play hockey, and go home. It wasn't all the stuff I had to deal with in Fort Erie, like owning the team, everything that we had to do. I never had to worry about that, which that was nice for my last couple months, just playing hockey.
Yeah,
for sure.
That makes sense for sure.
Right
on, dude.
But let's kind of jump into the college run. Now, we love talking about Nicky. We love talking about mentality and development, and like making those jumps. And everybody kind of handles it differently. That's what I've noticed the last few episodes as well. Everybody handles it a little bit differently, or a lot differently. Mm-hmm. So your jump, you come in, you're playing, you put up great numbers in junior, very comfortable out there on the ice, very smart. How was that jump now with your brother? He found it a little difficult making that jump. How was your jump now from playing juniors, 5 years, comfortable, captain bomb, heavy left shoulder? So now hopping into Westfield State, like how do you feel? How's your mentality going into that?
Well, I get there and I tell guys this all the time. Like,
did you know you were going there right after the season?
It was pretty close.
Yeah, okay.
It was pretty close. I went there I think we got beat out on like a Sunday. I went for my visit on Wednesday. And
yeah.
It was pretty close. It was like April, but you get there and you like hockey wise, you got to find what you're good at. Like I wasn't gonna go up there and be, the first line center like I was in Fort Erie. I wasn't gonna play power play, penalty kill.
Yeah.
In my eyes, like I was a power play guy. Like I could never envision a hockey game where like I wasn't used on the power play. It was just my kind of what I did, or like, right? Like and then I get to Westfield and it's like not only am I not on the power play, I'm on the fourth line, and in college your fourth line can't get scored on. They got to do their job, and I'm playing center with two seniors, and it's just you got to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And then
it's true.
So I was on the power play, was on the penalty kill. So I figured out the first thing that I could do really, really well was win faceoffs. So that gives you 2 or 3 extra shifts a game, a big faceoff, D-zone draw, O-zone draw. And then in practice on the PK, I wasn't on the PK, but every time we did PK, I went out there. And I would slide in front of shots. And I know my future roommate, who was probably the best defenseman in the conference, ran the power play, and I'd be sliding around blocking a shot, and he would just say to me every time, like, it's practice. Can you, like, kick rocks? And I'm just like, no, I'm just trying to get one chance. And Coach Young, assistant coach, gave me one chance, and then I was on the PK for the rest of the year. So that's 4 more shifts, especially when now you're a good face-off guy, so you're starting the PK. and you're not the third pairing, you're the first pairing because you can win the face-off and then stay out there.
Yeah.
I didn't play a single power play until the last regular season game of the season. Not a single power play. And it was great. It was perfect for me. I didn't have to worry about putting points up. I got my 4 goals.
Had a roll.
Head out of there, but I had a roll, and we were a good team. We fell into some injury trouble, but it helped me get to the next level. So that's what I tell guys now. Like, you gotta find some. You gotta give the coach a reason to put you out there. You know, like, and now I know this is cliche because I'm a coach now, but I've never seen a coach bench a good player that was doing the right thing. It doesn't happen.
No.
Coaches are in the business of winning, whether they're trying to develop kids or not. They're in the business of winning. So, I think just finding that niche of
I think that was an important thing you just said, coaching and winning. Sorry, I just want to touch on that quickly. I think a lot of people too, quite honestly, I think a lot of parents teach their kids it's not about winning. It's not about winning. Quite honestly, it's about succeeding.
Yeah.
It's about triumph. It's about just getting through failure, and part of that is teaching your kids how to win,
right.
And part of that is teaching them to accept loss and failure and learn from it and not run from it and not put the score up and not show kids that they're losing because it hurts their feelings. Life's tough, and that's the truth.
And I think in college, like I said, I was leaving London where I was a healthy scratch at 250 games played and 60-point season. I was a healthy scratch in Game 6 of a playoff series. To now I'm playing college hockey on the 4th line. So I wasn't like where am I here? Or what am I doing? Am I wasting time? I'm footing my own bill there. Like, am I wasting my money? What's going on? So it was important to find my own way, and now I'm living away from home my own. I'm living with 12 other freshmen in one house, which I don't recommend for anyone. it was a lot of fun.
Oh, really? I can't wait to hear.
I don't recommend that for anyone, but you had to find your own way, and I think that's so important for kids. Like, we talked earlier, before this about meetings and stuff with players, but players, like, a meeting can't be a one-way street. Like, you got to bring something to the table. If I'm telling you to go to point A, you got to tell me why or where point A is and why you're not getting there. That's the big thing.
Yeah, exactly, man. I think 100%. Like, players have to take an active role in their development, take an active role in their improvement. You can't expect a coach to do everything for you. Of course, you're the guy playing, you're the guy skating, you're the guy listening to doing the drills and following direction. But, when the coach asks you to do something and then you think you're doing it, but you're still not getting ice time, you don't understand why. You have to communicate and you have to start understanding why. And part of that is asking tough questions and getting through difficult conversations, and that's growing. That's growing up.
For sure. And that's something that I went through in definitely my first year. It was a trying year for sure.
So perfect. So now you're after your first year. Okay. Yeah. What did you play? Did you play a lot?
Yeah, I played a lot, especially at the end, and then I was happy leaving my first year for sure. I was happy. I thought.
Did you grow as a player?
Yeah, I definitely. And now I was way better defensively, way better. And I loved it. So heading into sophomore year, ending my freshman year, I had hip surgery.
Oh yeah.
So I was out for 8 months. I missed almost the entire first semester of my sophomore year. I got back with 2 games left, which were important 2 games because that gave you that little taste over Christmas, And I scored my first game back, which felt great, and I got the itch, and then. Coming out of the break, we played in a tournament with 2 of the top teams in the country, and it was fun. And it was like I'm back, and
nice.
It's
That's
back.
awesome.
Hockey's back.
Yeah,
I was out a long time. I haven't been out that much besides this pandemic.
Yeah.
So I was without hockey for a long time, and now sophomore junior year I have 2 pretty good seasons, and the points are coming, and I'm playing power play, and I'm taking a bigger leadership role, and I got to watch our captain Jackson Leaf, who plays in the East Coast now, probably the best player I've ever been on the ice with, and just so
He's
fun,
really good.
so fun to watch, and no one cared about hockey more than this kid. And I grew up in a hockey family, and hockey was on my brain 24/7. But this guy was a different beast. Like he's working on things that I'm like, you'll never use that in a game, and he was like, I don't even care. Like I'm out here on the ice. I don't care. He's taking he's like, I'm going to try to shoot the puck a different way today. I'm like,
Sure.
I haven't changed my curve
creative.
in 8 years. So I tape my stick the same way I did 8 years ago. And you're shooting a different way today. I'm like, yeah, so whatever, and then, so like that's a kid, and he was our captain, player of the year, and I was just like, that's someone I learned from for sure.
Yeah, dude, he was a really good player. We played with him in 3-on-3 a little bit.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Eh?
Right.
He's good. You know who else we played 3-on-3? And I believe after the second year he made the switch, must have been a fun year for you too, because my best friend definitely showed up there. He's one of my best friends. I've known the kid forever. He showed up there. You've known him for quite some time too. He's definitely been around. Carl Greco. How was playing with him?
Yeah, Carl's a creature is the word I would use. But no, he
Agreed.
Like I knew Carl from growing up.
Yep.
But I didn't know him that well. So he came with Sam Caranta, who I knew really well because we played.
Oh, Sammy came too, eh?
Yeah, they
I
came
didn't know
together.
that, eh? I
So-
didn't know
Sammy
that.
was there.
So they moved into my place from the year before, and I had moved out. So, just from the get-go, like, I'm driving them around or I'm helping them and, get acclimated. And they both had pretty good years. And, obviously Sam went home and played for Brock, and
Yeah.
Carl stuck around, and Carl became a big part of what we were doing. Like, we ended up being roommates for 2 years, but we were power play guys, and we stuck around. But we were together all the time. We lived together for 2 years. We became best friends, and it started hockey-wise. Like, there was a lot of things in Carl's game that pissed me off, and I think he knew that. And we would leave the rink. We would drive together.
So Carl actually told us a funny story about.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
No
sorry, but I really I want to touch on this. He told us a funny story about a time you guys were working on the power play in practice, and you just kept passing it to each other, and you said your coach was losing his mind.
You want to insure us on this
Yeah,
one?
well, he just... We would only pass to each other because that's the kind of people we were. And we would always, be... First of all, we started on different power plays. And then when we got on the same power play, we were just always together. So we would only pass to each other. And the coach would say, we're going to run this power play. And then we would start in that power play. And then we'd end up in the power play we drew on the kitchen table the night before. And then, our power play, like... ended up being in our senior year was great, and
Was it you two running the top?
well, I ran the side. He ran it from the top, yeah, but he also couldn't break an egg, so we didn't have that. We didn't have that shooting threat because he wouldn't even try to shoot it. So
Greco's coming on Wednesday. I'm sure he's gonna have some shots fired back at you.
He couldn't break an egg, so but no, we had so much fun, and he made my last 2 years, with Carl and my other roommate, Johnny, we had a blast, and two of my best friends, and, it's funny, we still talk probably every day. We have a little group chat with a bunch of kids from Westfield that didn't play hockey. We became friends through, like Massachusetts kids just, and then we call it the grub chat, and there's, because all we did was eat. We ate every single day at 4:30, and our table would be 10 people long, and it was guys that didn't play hockey. And I think it's amazing to me looking back at how close I was with these guys, and not playing hockey. And I want to tell my players, like, you got to broaden your horizons.
Absolutely.
Like you gotta meet other people, and I have these friends for life from a different country that have never skated before.
Yeah.
And it's like, before that, when I played in Fort Erie, I didn't have a single friend that didn't play for the Meteors.
Yeah.
So
Honestly.
that's how it is.
Just to transition into that, I had a real similar experience. My first couple of years of college is my coach stressed to make sure that we attended a lot of school events. Talk to people in your class. It's just so important to just the general college experience off the ice, and maybe you could just dive more into that, just the kind of the off ice experience, not necessarily maybe partying, but you can include that too. But just all the friendships you make and the extracurricular stuff that comes with the off ice.
For sure, I think that's a big difference between my college outlook and other people's. When I was at Westfield, it was the hockey team and then the rest of the school.
Right.
I felt like
Right.
we didn't have maybe one player on campus, and that was like the 18-year-old true freshman. Every odd year, but we weren't really a part of the school. I felt like.
Yeah.
But I lived right across the street from the school with Carl and Johnny, like right across the street. I worked in the athletics department like for 3 years. I was the PA announcer. I did, get graphics. I did stats. I went to every baseball game, every women's lacrosse. Like I was right in that department.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
great.
So that made my college time better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it helped me get my next job. So,
Yeah.
it goes full. There's a lot of kids that, I played with that it was like playing junior. They weren't even a part of Westfield State, I feel like. They just went and played the games. And most of our school was online. We did tons of online school.
Mm-hmm.
So, not even a lot of guys even went to campus. Then, like Franklin Pierce, which I know we'll talk about, way different.
Yeah.
Everyone's on campus. The school is this tight. And, way different kind of walks of life in that aspect.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
actually.
let's dive right into it. You brought it up. It's kind of get going.
Right? So
Yeah.
that obviously helped you get in your next job, which was you weren't the assistant coach right away, were you?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, you were.
So
That's awesome.
there was only two of us. It was me and the head coach Sean. And what happened was my assistant coach at Westfield knew I wanted to coach. We became very close. We are still close. And the coach from Franklin Pierce, Sean, had mentioned to Coach Young that that he was looking for an assistant, a GA, and Coach Young told him, I got the guy for you. Send me the description. I applied. I went for a visit. The campus was beautiful. It's like right next to a mountain. It's in the middle of nowhere. I had played them. They were on our schedule 4 times, so I kind of knew that. I knew what the rink was like. And then there's, this head coach who's only a year older than me, and he's making huge changes, and I can see it. I could see how much he cared and how much his players were caring. And he just said, I'm bringing in 13, 14 freshmen next year. It's my first full recruiting class. His GA the previous year had quit, and I was all in. So it was just me and him. Like there was no equipment manager. We had a trainer, but we had no equipment manager. So I'm 3 a.m. cleaning jerseys for the game the next day. We just got off the road, or I'm like doing film with Sean or cutting graphics for social media. We did it all.
Yeah.
And that was a huge plus. I talked to other assistant coaches in college, and we're not even allowed to talk in the room. Like it's the head coach and then the associate coach and then me. Whereas us, like I ran the forward, Sean ran the D. I ran the power play, Sean ran the penalty kill. Or we ran the power play together, we ran the penalty kill together. It was that's a huge thing of communication. Like nothing happened without a discussion, and he
that's how a coaching staff should be.
no matter what we discussed here, this is what I'm doing. No, like we had those conversations where it was like, I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing it. You give me your advice, but we're doing it.
Yeah.
And hey, you make the big bucks. You're the boss.
Yep.
But I appreciate that.
Asking for the input.
Right. And me giving my input, and I just appreciated that so much. And the first year we won 10 games, which was a program record. Missed the playoffs on the last weekend, which was devastating. But looking back, it was like, wow, like that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
We had the player of the year, and it was great. Next year, we win 18 games.
Wow.
Yeah, that's unreal, man.
Make playoffs on the last day again, even winning 18 games.
Wow.
Win the semifinals in triple overtime. Lose in the finals by 1 goal in front of 3,000 people. Something that I'll take home with me or forever.
Yeah.
Same kid wins player of the year again. Captain. 40 points.
What's his name?
Alex Lester. He was great. He was a great leader. He had, I think, back to like 35, 40-point seasons. Then we had other kids, like we had a sophomore, Chris Stevenson, who had 7 points and then 35, or 38. Wow. And we had, in my opinion, one of the best power plays in the country, and it was amazing to watch. We were lighting teams up, and, it was so fun. And we had, first college team in college history for all 4 goalies to win a game. All
Wow.
4 of our
Go
goalies
on.
won
That's
a game.
unreal, man.
We
Wow.
won. We had a 9-game winning streak. Like stuff that I've never been a part of, and I still am close with those guys. Sean's my best friend, and it was awesome.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, and we have a similar experience. Me and Johnny and Parksy and Maddie, we all coach at this new academy, and we lean on each other, and we do a lot of the work. A lot of the bulk of the work because we have to. We got the 2 teams, right? U18, U16, and I think the players, what I was going to kind of reference, those guys played so hard for you guys because they see the work you put in. They respect that. They not only your hockey knowledge, of course, every guy has their amount of hockey knowledge,
Right.
but it's how you present it and how you approach the situation, how hard you work for these guys, and that's what they respect now, I think. I don't think kids just blindly respect things, right? And
No, for
they
sure.
respect the work ethic and the effort. So that, like you said, it was probably a huge plus for a lot of reasons, and for those kids to just play their nuts off for you, that's unbelievable, and win 18 games.
Yeah, it was a crazy year, but it was it starts right away. We're in at 8 in the morning folding practice socks and hanging jerseys in stalls and making sure tape's out and stuff like that. And then the guys get in, and then the women's team practices at 6 o'clock, and we're still there, and we're watching film in our little office, and the guys say, "Where are you?" And we're like, "Well, we're still at the office, still at the rink," and they're like, I think that, and we get on the road trips and everything's taken care of. Stuff runs as smooth as possible, and it's just all about time and effort. And not, I don't want to bash where I came from, but Westfield was much different. I feel like it was more of a. It wasn't so much. We didn't have a locker room, so that's like the first thing.
Yeah.
Not having a locker room, like there's only so much that.
It's a big part of hockey.
Yeah, and there's only so much the coach can do with no locker room, right? Like
Yeah.
with us, we're at Pierce, we're taking care of so much, and it was just opening. Like now, looking back where I am now, what I brought to Fort Erie from there will forever. I'll forever be grateful.
You can see the changes and stuff already, and just the organization, the way you run things, and it's no disrespect to anything in the past. Like we said, we respect and love the organization, but you guys, it's just. Everything looks so professional now. You've done a great job, man, honestly, and
Appreciate that for sure.
Just from my perspective, anybody watching, and I live here now.
Absolutely. I'll back you up on that a little bit. You can kind of see that just like you guys are kind of going with the time change a little bit too. You know what I mean? It's a newer time. It's a kind of a newer way of hockey, and like you're almost one step ahead of that now, and like that's the way it's a learning curve for you guys. But you're kind of
ahead of the game.
Ahead of the learning curve, and that's great. And like now you brought your brother with you too, right? You guys are diamond. You guys, let's go right to Fort Erie this year. You guys,
yeah.
You guys
I get home. We lose the finals on like March 7th last year.
Yep.
At Pierce, and I come home for what I thought was my spring break, and I never went back because of COVID. So, then as the months went on over summer, and I'm looking for a new job over there, a new assistant coaching job. I started to realize that, the world is not what it needs to be for me to go over there. So I guess I'm going to stay home and take over here. And right away, you want to change everything, everything that I've seen before. And I have all these new ideas, but it's a gradual turn. Like my dad was an old school guy. So
absolutely
he did things old school. Were they wrong? No, they weren't wrong. They were old school. It was different, like the amount of times that I hear, oh, your dad did this, or me and your dad did this in a week is insane. And we're changing things, and he laid the groundwork for us. And now with, my dad never sat in on a film session with the players. It was the old school. That never happened. Now it's like you got to do film with the kids. You got to get this. You got to get that. Kids want tangible things. They want a new hoodie. They want sweatpants. They want this. And you can blame the kids all you want, but think about, wouldn't you want that? Like,
absolutely.
The best part of any hockey team is, gear day. New sticks, new this. That makes kids happy. Right. And like the simplest things of, getting new stickers on your helmet makes kids' day. And that's something that, we want to bring and we want to help out, and we have a million ideas, alumni game, the bigger golf tournament, everything we want to do bigger, and we want to help people. Like, obviously, COVID has hurt a lot of businesses. We want to we always go out and say, can you sponsor us this? But, like, what can we do for you? And that's going to be something that, you know, that's going to be big too. But hockey culture needs an upgrade, and I think that we're really hitting something here with that. And I think our guys have turned a corner and starting to realize, you know, it's the greater picture, the greater purpose for sure.
Yeah, so true. I love how you reference Gear Day. I always, my brother and I talk about it all the time. Oh, it's pretty much like Christmas Day,
Right?
Or even better.
100%. It's
But,
Christmas Day for me, and I don't even get it. I'm giving
Yeah.
it out. You know, like
Honestly,
like I get it. I get a new box of stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm sending pictures to people. I'm like, look how good this looks. You know, I'm sending it out.
100%. And even just to what you said is, Carson and I are just in a very similar situation in terms of taking the program over this past fall. And but yeah, just like you said, it's not necessarily disrespecting what happened in the past. It's just basically taking the best and sort of leaving the rest, and taking that best and building on it and putting your own kind of spin on it, and taking from different programs and kind of building together something that can be built upon. It's like my parents always tell me, it's, you know, they're trying to raise you to be an even better person than they were.
Better
right?
version of themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think for me, the biggest downfall of an organization or a company is, well, we always did it this way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
you know, times change.
Who cares?
And-
Yeah, we had a conversation the other day, actually,
With an administrative staff.
Yeah, with the administrative staff at school, and we were actually referencing the way other programs had done things for a long time. She was talking about other schools, and I was like, "Who cares?" I
Yeah.
straight up said that. I was like, "Who cares?" I was like, well, "That doesn't matter. Why don't we be innovators?
Yeah.
We can do it better." And she was like, "Yeah, fair enough." She kind of actually was receptive, and it was cool to see, like, you know, that people are receptive to the ideas of, like, you know, the younger generation, because we do have, you know, ideas for change that are probably good.
Right.
You know?
If you look at some of my text threads with some of my former coaches, it's all like pictures or something we see online that could help the program. Like, I got a picture of, I think it was Clarkson, the way they wash their socks, their white socks. And I'm like, oh yeah, like we struggled keeping our white socks clean last year. And I just sent them, like, this might work. And I sent it to two of my coaches, old coaches that I know are head coaches of college programs that do the laundry. You know, like, I know they do that. And I just sent them. Or like, I have this infatuation with, like, game day tables, like tape and granola bars and water. It's like that makes me so happy, and like something that if I ever had as a player, when I walked in, I'd be like, fucking right, like that looks great.
Feels
Yeah, it's the little stuff.
Yeah,
It
so
goes
like
a
when
long way.
I see some of these, like, I know we pride ourselves at Pierce at having the best table, especially at home. Like, we would see some teams bring in, like, toasters and coffee pots, and I'm like, we need a toaster and a coffee pot. Then our guys
Right now, eh?
guys be like, we don't even drink that much coffee. I'm like, put the coffee on. Get the coffee.
Get
Like
it
that,
on.
That's the kind of
You're
Yeah,
drinking the rest of the
Yeah,
pot.
yeah,
Yeah, you just hammer yourself.
guys only got one roll of tape, but we got coffee. So, no, but
That's prime.
that's how, like, you know, like, that's the difference. And kids love that, and they love to be taken care of.
You
and
eat with your eyes.
Yeah,
And that is the
100%.
saying for essentially anything. You eat
Yeah.
with your eyes. Like, it's presentation, it's optics, it's that way for everything. And the something as little as, like, a table.
Right.
Like,
Well,
seriously, we're
like-
sitting here as hockey players, and all the people sitting there as hockey players right now are like, wow, yeah,
He's
that's
right.
unreal.
But like,
Yeah,
if you,
professionalism.
yeah, that's exactly. I think it's more of like a being comfortable thing too.
Yeah, oh,
you
for
walk
sure.
in like, okay, we got rolls of tape lined up and we got lots of tape. We got granola bars,
Takes some of
apples.
the anxieties
We-
away.
Absolutely.
But
You got-
the worst part is, not to interrupt, but the worst
you go.
part is you get it on a Saturday, but then the next Saturday it's not there. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I need it.
that's something that I'm not going to give it to the guys unless we can give it to them every time. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so then, like, that's something important too. But also the players are, and a lot of people will say I'm wrong here, and I'll take, they're way more, not way more, but they're very grateful. Like, when we had made our team this year, because of COVID, we didn't go in the room right away. So they were still getting dressed in the other room. And I didn't want to move them in the room until all the helmets, gloves, pants, whatever we were getting them was in. I wanted them to walk in the room and their stall be ready to go, nameplate. So one night, you know, we stuck around the rink, me, Anthony, Cam, Fairgrave, Johnny Curran, and Joe Fazio screwing in cages, sticker in helmets, gloves, and we got it all in there. And when the guys came in the next day, Joe had told me like he got 5 text messages like thanks for the stuff in the room, like
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
a feeling of pride.
Yeah, but like it's also know that is you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah.
And
No. Yeah.
and just saying like thanks for that, like.
Goes a long way, man.
That's part of what we were talking about earlier,
Goes a
though,
long
right? They
way.
see the effort you guys put in. Joe
Right.
Fazio, to shout out to
Right.
Joe.
Oh,
that
my
guy,
God.
Sure.
That guy puts in a
For
ton
sure.
of effort, and the guys appreciate him. Everyone loves
Yeah.
him. But, yeah, man, that's awesome.
But I know what this year there was a kid on our team that his stick was too short, and I knew it was too short. And I let Anthony run practice one day, so I grabbed a bigger stick out of Joe's closet, and I taped it and handed it to him in mid practice, and his first words like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was kind of like taken back, and then he got on the ice and realized what he had said, and came back off. He's like, "That's not what I meant to say." And he's like, "I just wanted to know what it was." I was like, "Yeah, you said that. You said, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah, we got that.
And he, like, I could tell he was like, "Oh, that's not what I meant to say." He was like,
Oh,
and
for
I was
sure.
just, all I was trying to do was, get this kid a bigger stick. And then, like, that's the kind of thing where I realize they are understanding. They're turning a corner, and it's not just, what am I getting? Yes, it's, I want this stuff, but it's more like, thank you.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's amazing, man. So like let's kind of get back into the hockey thing. You and Anthony put together a pretty good team this year. Right? You had a great start, so before COVID hit, right?
Yeah, we did for sure. It was fun. It sucks.
It's tough, eh?
all it-
Let's kind of, we talked about Anthony for a bit, but he did reference you. He said, "Let's ask Nick." We got to get a little info for us for the listeners out there for up and coming in the Gulch.
Well, I'm just hoping we get on the ice soon.
Yeah.
I'm
To get out of
hoping.
lockdown.
I'm hoping we get the guys back on Tuesday. My guys are hopefully moving in this weekend again.
Okay.
And then just get them on the ice. Obviously, they're going to be probably in bad shape. I mean, you can't expect them to be in good shape. And it's not like you didn't do anything over. It's like, what were you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like how many runs in the winter are you going to go on?
How many gyms were
Right.
No
and
gyms were
like,
even open.
And
Like, you
some
gotta-
guys,
let's go.
like me personally, you wouldn't catch me dead on a pond. Like I just, I don't have that in me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. And obviously, maybe in junior I probably would have been out there, but now like I've gotten like 5 invites to go on the ponds. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You don't
I don't want to be cold. I'm not very good anymore, and I don't want to tie my skates outside for sure. So like I know we're gonna have to get them back in shape, but I think we got a good leadership group that's gonna help that, and obviously we brought Dalen Gruel in who gets
Was
it.
on this podcast.
Yeah, we had him on. We had him on.
Yeah, so I think he'll be fun to. He'll be help the leadership group, with Marco and Drew and Tyler DeKoff and McGoley, Dalton McBride and Anthony Gigliotti. It's a nice little group there. I just want to give these guys as many games as we can, And
So look, like you guys gonna get a season in.
I don't know what a season will look like. I
Yeah.
don't even want to really comment on that, but
Okay.
I think if we can play every Friday, Saturday from here to June, I'm in.
Yeah,
That'd
be
I
nice.
I just don't really have I don't want to promise or say.
Absolutely.
Right. If we can play every Friday, Saturday from here on in, and maybe play a playoff series at the end, like I don't see us traveling to London for a Sutherland Cup. Like it's not really in the works. It's but it's also bigger than hockey. Like it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
We Zoom with the guys, and I'm like, hey, like it's bigger than hockey right now.
Yeah.
And I'm dying. I miss it. You guys miss it. The world misses it, but it's bigger. So I think that's important too.
Yeah.
But
no
just yeah, we were on fire there for a little bit, and it was so fun. And the guys were winning, and they're learning. We're practicing 4 days a week. Something we've never really done. Mostly been a 3-dayer, but we were practicing 4 days. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah, no, just as we're kind of getting towards the end here, we're at 48 minutes.
Beautiful.
So we'll start wrapping up, but I'd like to end on a lighter side sometimes, just hear about some funny
For sure.
stuff or whatever. If you have any funny stuff from this year, college,
We'll take
or,
a Greco story if
We'll
you
take
got
a
one. We'll
Greco
take a good
story.
Greco's. He does have an interview this week, so we gotta keep it. We keep it pretty. We keep it pretty nonchalant. But
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a good Greco story. You got anything for us?
Well, first I'll like to tell a story about Carson's dad.
Okay, we have Scoot story. Even that's a good one too.
We were playing in what? My dad had told me that he was gonna hire Chris, and I didn't really know much about Chris, but we were playing in St. Catharines. Let
me cut you off there. Sorry,
yeah.
Chris's Scoot.
Yeah,
Scoot is
it's
Carson's dad.
For the listeners.
For the listeners.
So for the viewers, not for
For the viewers, I'm getting shot out again here.
So my dad had told me that he was going to hire Chris, but we were playing in St. Catharines on a Friday night, and we didn't have a coach. So I think one of the assistant coaches was coaching, and I ended up fighting. And I went in the crowd, and I was just looking for my dad, kind of, and I fought early, I remember, and Chris had grabbed me by the shirt, like the tie, and said, "You won't be doing any of that." And I was kind of taken aback by it. And then he giggled and slapped me, and I went on over to my dad, and my dad had said, I had just told Chris I hired him, blah, blah. So the next night we play at home, and Chris is coaching, and first shift I get challenged. And I was like, I can't.
Red light.
The guy's like, "What do you mean you can't?"
Man, I tell him about
Yeah,
that. You had the red light.
Red light, eh?
I was like, I can't, and not that I fought all the time. This just happened to bang back to back. We were playing Thorold, and I ended up fighting halfway through the second period, but I was really defending myself. and Chris Scoot came in after and grabbed me and bring me in the office. He's like, "Are you done? I think you're done. I don't think you got to do that anymore." And I'll take that. It was just how he was so funny, and how he is.
His intense eyes.
Yeah.
He looks at you with those ice blue eyes, and he's looking right through you.
Yeah. Or I'll always love when he used to tell me it was his power play, not mine. Like, "Passero, that's my fucking power play."
Kind of like,
you're right.
like the kitchen table story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my way all the time.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
some of the time.
But no, he was good. I mean, Carl Grex, he first of all, he has some psychopath tendencies. Doesn't wear elbow pads.
Yes, he doesn't. No, he mid game doesn't wear elbow pads. Like literally.
But played in the Southern Professional Hockey League. That's
no
a jungle, and he
no
played
elbow pads. No elbow pads.
Yeah, no, he was.
I gotta EP this guy.
Yeah, he was crazy. No, Carl was just. The words I keep thinking are a bundle of joy, which is crazy.
He is, man.
But he didn't want to play defense. I'll say that. Didn't want to play defense.
Guy's been a defenseman his whole life since he could put on his blue neck guard back in the day. Blue neck guard. Oh, it's a
staple.
Yeah,
seriously. But no, continue.
No, he his sticks would be different sizes. I'm very my stick's the same. All my knobs look the same. It didn't make me a better player, but you'd go in he'd have different kinds of sticks. Some sticks would be this big, some sticks that big. Taped curves were different, and tape jobs were different, and it drove me wild. But he used to wear these slippers, moccasin slippers, and he would wear them everywhere, and they were disgusting. They were disgusting, and he I remember his family came up, and his sisters were like, "Oh, he's still wearing those."
No way.
Oh yeah. He was the great equalizer in the house, is what I would say. He was the great equalizer.
And that's amazing. And let's not shoot Greco down here. Again, he's coming on.
No, I can't wait to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, he's gonna get some shots fired back at you. But Greco is he's
amazing guy.
Amazing. I don't have words for the guy. The guy's like I said, I've known the guy my whole life, and he's something special.
That guy can tell a story. I'm excited.
I'm excited to have him on, and I'm excited. You know what I was excited
He's
to have
always
Nicky
got
on
lots
tonight.
of me too. I know.
He's gonna gun for you.
I was a yeller, right? So I would always yell at someone, him a lot, or
a lot.
He'll definitely have
That's
it
amazing.
on me. But no, I appreciate you guys having me, and.
Yeah, Nicky, honestly, awesome to have you on, and you and your brother, and we're going to have you back, and your brother, if we'll have you, because
we'll get him on one show.
Very briefly touched on your dad, but we want to talk to you and your brother about just that and coaching together now, and just what that means to you guys, and all that stuff, so, thanks for coming on.
No, I appreciate it.
And you know what, Nicky, I like to do this on our episodes. You know what, we did it yesterday for with Anthony, and we're gonna do it tonight. There's one person I can really only think to throw this little salute out to, and it's your father. He's done so much to the Fort Erie Meteors and hockey around here. So let's give a little salute to him.
Salute.
God rest his soul. And Nicky, you're doing good things for this place, man. You're doing great things for the town of Fort Erie and the Fort Erie Meteors. And it's only going up for you guys, it looks like, for sure.
Hopefully. Hopefully, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Slim Reaper, thanks for hopping in over the bench here on for the third man in.
It's a pleasure, boys. It was a pleasure. Yeah, Nick, just to echo what these guys said, is just meeting kind of you and your brother more in depth these last couple of days. It's hockey's in good hands in this area, and I think the Mets are in good hands.
Yeah,
so
welcome to the area.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Awesome.
It's been fun.
It's been great, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Beauty.
What an awesome chat we had with Nick there, and just spending time with him and his brother yesterday too. You could just tell just what kind of leadership skills they have, just kind of what kind of guys they are and their character, and you could just like I said, you could tell the Mets are in good hands for the next couple of years here, and it was so enjoyable talking with him.
No, Nicky, sorry.
You're
Nicky's
good.
always been that way specifically, honestly. I played with him and just a leader, born leader, natural born leader and coach, and he's been fantastic that way. Great talking to him here and to hear, his ideas on innovation of hockey and management like we've been talking about a bit too. So it was awesome just to hear another perspective that's coaching in the game that is aligned, with changing the game of hockey for the better.
No, absolutely. You guys made some great points. Nicky made some great points tonight, and I was glad to have him on. I can't wait to have him and Anthony on together for one episode here. And it was a great night. I just want to throw a shout out, a little plug to our streaming platforms here. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, and we're on YouTube. Head on over to there, throw us a like and a share, give us a nice listen here. We also have our Instagram at GM32_the Hockey Podcast. Give us a follow. Let your friends know. Thank you for listening. I'm Vito Scaringi.
I'm John Stephenson, a.k.a. the Slim Reaper.
And I'm Carson Johnstone. And as always, we got one question for you.
Can you feel it now? Would you